Okay. Let's see what we're working with here. So, sorry, just booting up the team sheets here. On Ski's side here, John Saqui, he will be. That is a. That is not a Mega Barbaracle. It is just a scope lens sniper Barbaracle with cross chop, stone edge, and aqua cutter. Bamboozled there. What he does have as a Mega is the Delphox. On the other hand, Aru, Alden, and Encabo does have. Also, both of those Pokemon at the top and bottom of his teams, the Blastoise and the Delphox, they are Megas. But there's no water spout on this Blastoise though. Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, Water Pulse, all moves that take advantage of Mega Launcher. At the same time, the Delphox though, the thing is, Aru's Delphox is modest, but Ski's Delphox is timid. And Ski's Delphox also has Hypnosis. Risky move, but there is gravity on the Sableye, and I'm very curious to see how this is gonna play out. Okay. So, Aru will be leading with Sylveon and Blastoise, while Ski, John Kiel, Saqui, Kiel will be leading with that Sableye and this Delphox. Looking at the sheets here, this Sableye does have Fake Out, Disable, Encore, and Gravity. This Delphox can negate its Levitate with the Gravity coming from the Sableye. If the Sableye goes for the Gravity here, its Hypnosis will be accurate. Very, very accurate. But at the same time, the Blastoise from Alden's side will also have access to that Fake Out, so it is pressuring right now. It has Fake Out pressure, but at the same time, it can just go outright for the KO with Water Pulse. At the same time, this Sylveon can also just go for the immediate KO, Hyper Voice, or Hyper Beam into the Sableye. Nothing's gonna save it if it gets blasted by a Hyper Beam. But we will be seeing that this Delphox and this Blastoise will be Mega Evolving. So both of these Pokemon Mega Evolving immediately on turn 1. Blastoise, like I said earlier, exerting that Fake Out pressure, will be using Fake Out into the Delphox, but Gravity goes up. Gravity has intensified. Delphox is no longer levitating. It no longer has an ability, but it will flinch this turn. But like I said earlier, if this Sylveon goes for that Hyper Beam into the Sableye, there is going to be no saving that Sableye. It goes down, but successfully gets the Gravity up. And in most cases, this would be quite difficult. But Delphox actually does have a use case for it, considering that it has the Hypnosis. But even more interesting here is Flapple. Flapple does Hustle, but under Gravity, Hustle is almost negated with that Accuracy boost. So, Aru will be switching out his Blastoise for the Garchomp here, and Psychic will be hitting into that Sylveon that cannot move. But this Flapple will be using Grav Apple. Under the effects of Gravity, Grav Apple has even more power and will barely ever miss. Because, I mean, it also has Hustle. This Flapple is also Choice Scarf, so it is extremely fast. 3 turns of Gravity left, and I doubt that either of these Pokemon are going to be able to outspeed. The Garchomp does have Protect, and Sylveon will be able to protect itself this turn if it ever so wishes. But again, Delphox can just put anything it wants to sleep right now and allow this Flapple to just knock things out with Grav Apple. It also has Sucker Punch and Dragon Rush, which under Gravity will be quite effective. It's not going to be missing any moves anytime soon because of that Gravity boost, but we will be seeing this Sylveon protect itself. And I'm going to... Okay, so the Sylveon successfully protects itself, but Garchomp will have to take in this Heat Wave. Despite the resistance, at 10% HP, there's just nothing Garchomp could do there. Mega Delphox is fast, and seeing that Kiel's Delphox is a timid nature, it also will be even faster. 2 turns of gravity left. Alden and Encabo, Aru is gonna have to think of something fast. Fake out pressure is once again on the field because of that Blastoise, but he can also go for a Dark Pulse or a Water Pulse directly into this Delphox. But that means the Flapple is gonna be able to use Grav Apple directly on the Blastoise. And Fake Out will be going into the Flapple, and Hypnosis successfully puts the Blastoise to sleep, which means this Sylveon is once again able to use that Hyper Beam if it really wanted to. And not a Hyper Beam, but a Hyper Voice successfully takes out Flapple, deals a pretty respectable amount of damage on the Delphox despite the resist. But yeah, Sylveon manages to knock out the crux of that gravity, and yeah, last turn of gravity. Blastoise is a bit of a no issue because it's asleep, but it can still wake up. Delphox though, this Sylveon is proving to be a problem. But again, Barbaracle, Sniper, and Scope Lens, there's a very good chance it's gonna be able to knock something out with a critical hit here. Does have Aqua Cutter, Stone Edge, and Cross Chop. I wager it does not want to use Cross Chop into the Sylveon, but Delphox will be putting this Sylveon to sleep. Yeah, the Blastoise on Aru's side, Alden's side will be staying asleep, and Stone Edge will be coming for it. No critical hit though. And just with that, gravity has finally returned to normal. Delphox will be once again able to use its Levitate ability, so it will no longer be hit by ground moves. It is once again immune to them, but it no longer has access to that gravity boost for Hypnosis. Its Hypnosis only has a 60% chance to hit. But with both Pokemon on Alden's side of the field already asleep, I don't think it really wants to put anything else to sleep unless John Kiel, Ski wants to swap something out. But yeah, Psychic will be hitting that Blastoise and dropping its special defense. And the Blastoise itself will be waking up, going for an Aura Sphere directly into the Barbaracle, knocking it out in just one hit. Barbaracle really didn't manage to do anything there other than not crit the Stone Edge into the Blastoise. It had one job. This is looking really dicey for John Ski here, but yeah, Alden managing to just get away with things using the Sylveon. Heat Wave, knocking out the Blastoise successfully, but this Sylveon is still up and ready to attack. Well, it's not up, it's still asleep. Spoke too soon, there it is, it's up, and it goes for a Hyper Voice. Of course, Hyper Beam was a very reasonable move to go for there, but Whimsicott will be coming out as the last slot. Whimsicott does have a Focus Sash, so this Delphox is gonna have to burn it along with the Heat Wave, or it's going to have to hit it twice. Of course, Whimsicott does have Tailwind, so if it manages to get a Tailwind up, Sylveon can delete the Delphox, eat Delphox with a Hyper Beam. But no, Whimsicott will be protecting itself. And Sylveon will go for a Quick Attack here, an interesting choice. While Delphox will be going for a Heat Wave. Does it whiff the Sylveon? Yes, it does. Misses the Sylveon and does nearly nothing on the turn. Whimsicott still has the ability to use Tailwind here and allow this Sylveon to just take the game. Sylveon at 30% HP probably doesn't want to take any more hits. Goes for a Quick Attack into Delphox. And it's a critical hit. Doesn't do too much. Hypnosis though will be going into the Whimsicott, putting it to sleep, but Quick Attack is still active for the Sylveon. It's going. If the Sylveon manages to just go for a quick attack or a Protect, this Delphox kind of sitting there, not really doing anything. And there we see it. 3 Quick Attacks in a row, a single Hyper Beam and 2 Hyper Voices. Game 1 goes to Alden and Encabo. Aru. That was certainly a game of all time. Wow. Okay, so let's move on to game 2 as soon as these trainers are ready. So we did see earlier that the gravity strat was certainly very interesting, but Alden managed to just eke it out ever so slightly. Interesting plays for both players. Going through these team sheets, these are some very interesting sets both players are running. Of course, the Staraptor on Alden's side is the Final Gambit variant. But it's more interesting to see that this Blastoise is just leaning on completely on Mega Launcher. Okay, game 2 will be starting. Alden will be leading with that Blastoise and Whimsicott. No longer the Sylveon at the very forefront of his team. Instead, it is now that Whimsicott able to go for a Tailwind, while this Blastoise still able to Mega Evolve with Fake Out Pressure directly into that Mousehold. Mousehold, though, interestingly, is Focus Sash Technician with Population Bomb and Trailblaze. It does have a Grass move to allow it to speed up into the Blastoise, but it also has Taunt in case it wants to mess with this Whimsicott. But yeah, we will be seeing that Alden will be Mega Evolving his Blastoise into that Mega Blastoise here. And I would wager that it's going for a Fake Out. No, it is not going for a Fake Out. Mousehold protects itself. No Friend Guard though. But Fake Out will be hitting that Whimsicott, breaking its Focus Sash coming from the Sableye. And Aura Sphere will be pinging off of that Mousehold, protecting itself. Mega Launcher boosting the power of Aura Sphere, but not in this scenario. Again, this Mousehold also has a Focus Sash and it's still perfectly healthy. On the other hand, this Sableye can once again just go for a Gravity here, but it can also use, there it is, it disables the Aura Sphere so it can no longer damage the Mousehold successfully. But Whimsicott, its partner Whimsicott, will be going for a Moonblast, super effective into Sableye, but does not net the KO. Special attack drop for Sableye and forces it to munch down on its Citrus Berry, but I don't think it really cared too much about the damage there, and I was about to count on Mousehold there. 1, 2, and that was it. So yes, both players, there's no field conditions yet. Gravity has not been selected. Tailwind has not been selected. Both of these trainers are just slugging it out completely. And yeah, Sableye will be disabling that Whimsicott. Moonblast can no longer be selected. But Giga Drain on Whimsicott will be coming out. It's no longer using Moonblast and manages to heal itself up just a little. But one hit from the Population Bomb. Alright, one hit on the Population Bomb. Water Pulse goes into the Mousehold, drops it to 26%, but it's wearing a Focus Sash anyway. It would have taken 2 hits to knock it down. Whimsicott though, Giga Drain. I'm a little tongue-tied here. I'm looking at the sheets, but I still got quite flabbergasted. Something more familiar to me though right now, Whimsicott does use the Tailwind and Sableye finally goes for Gravity. It's almost like these trainers are hearing my comments. Field conditions are finally set up. Dark Pulse goes into the Sableye right after it sets up the Gravity there. But I'm going to wager Mousehold goes with Population Bomb. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's all she wrote. Whimsicott goes down, returns into Alden's belt, and that's it for that Whimsicott. Knocked out by the little mouse that could. Or mouse family. Mice family. Mouse mice. Garchomp will, however, be taking Whimsicott's place. At the same time, With Gravity finally active, Flapple will be coming out, but Tailwind is still active on Alden's side of the field. John Kiel Ski is going to have to think of something here in order to not lose his Flapple so quickly. This Mousehold does not have Follow Me, nor does it have Friend Guard, so Flapple is not in the best position to do much here. Tailwind active on Alden's side will allow him to go first, threatening the immediate KO on the Mousehold with any move, and this Garchomp will be able to Dragon Claw into the Flapple without issue. We see Mousehold protect itself here, not wanting to go down this turn exactly, but Dragon Claw will be going into Flapple, knocking it out. It was already in the ground because of Gravity, but now it is back into its Pokeball. And we do see that the Garchomp will be taking a little bit of Life Orb damage there, Life Orb chip, but yeah, any move going into Mousehold there was not going to pan out, protecting itself completely. Well, Delphox finally comes out as the last Pokemon on John Kiel Ski's side of the field, and I really don't think it wants to get hit by a Water Pulse from this Mega Blastoise. It can Mega Evolve and put things to sleep now with Hypnosis, but yeah, again, I wager the Garchomp is also able to use Earthquake if it doesn't mind hurting its partner Blastoise though. This Blastoise does not have Protect, mind you, so it's susceptible to Earthquake, but Garchomp can also just go for a Rock Slide here. Tailwind is still up, so they will be moving first. And despite the Mega Evolution from the Delphox, we will not be seeing this Delphox move first. We see clearly that Garchomp will be moving before the Delphox in the Tailwind. And yeah, as a testament to see just how fast Delphox is, it even outspeeds Blastoise in the Tailwind, successfully puts it to sleep with Hypnosis. But now this Delphox is going to have to fight a 3v1. Despite the Blastoise being asleep, it is susceptible to that single target Earthquake right now. Delphox protects itself, stalling out the very last turn of Tailwind here. Garchomp going for a Dragon Claw into the Delphox, and Blastoise will stay asleep. The Tailwind peters out. Delphox is once again the fastest Pokemon on the field. Gravity, however, is still up for one last turn. This Delphox can still turn this around. It can, in fact, still put this Garchomp to sleep, but then it's gonna have to deal with the Blastoise if it wakes up. But no, there will be no Hypnosis from the Delphox here. It will instead be going straight for a Psychic into the Garchomp, and Garchomp's single target Rock Slide will be knocking Delphox out, earning Alden the game. And I believe that's all she wrote. Game in the set. Game, set, match. Oh no, this is... yeah. Okay. Game 3. Not the set, actually. Wait, no, it is the set, yes. That was it.